Yes, guys, you know what time it is. It's your boy David at the Irish Hotspur, Ireland's #1 Spurs fan. Just basically, I was at football yesterday, so I didn't get to touch on the Harry Kane thing, so we're going to do something today. I know you may be looking at it and saying, where's Jack? Well, Jack is on holiday with his family for a week, guys, so no concern there. But look, we'll get into it. We're going to get the thoughts of Paxton Road TV here today, led by their general, Shane. Shane, how are you, my man? And just quickly, anyone that says why you calling him Shane, it is actually his name.
He's exposed me. I'm good, thank you, David. How you doing? You all right?
I'm all good, man. Thank you for coming on today.
No problems. All good with that.
No, good. Mr. Kane, my man, how are things?
Good. It's good to be a pleasure to be on your show. I absolutely love coming on your show. Normally I'm in the chat, but for some reason I decided to represent Paxton Road TV. I've been part of the group for a while, and then Sam said to me, "Hey, dude, you need to come on tonight." So I said, "Thank you very much." What am I doing? I've got my show coming out on this Tuesday. Let's Talk to Kay. That's replacing the Three Wise Men on Will Stewart's TXFC's channel. So yeah, looking forward to it. Brilliant.
Happy days. Everyone, make sure you tune into that. I will be too. And we have a first timer here on the channel, and his name is Don. Don, my man, how are you?
Yeah, thank you very much, Irish Hotspur. I'm very privileged to be on your show. I think you're one of the top 5 streamers, so I support you. My wife watches you as well, so good to be on representing Paxton Road TV.
No, I really appreciate that, man, the kind words. But look, there's Don P. Does P stand for Don Paratici?
Or it could stand for Paxton.
I would be rolling with the Don Paraticis, now, especially Don after Romero.
Facts.
Oh, well, look, guys, before we get into it, I will read out Harry Kane's statement. I have a lot of questions to get through with the boys here. I just want to welcome some of the Harris Army in. We have Mr. K. He's that excited. He was in the chat early. Big up. We have our man, Major. I think this is the guy that said earlier on today in the chat that he was excited that India won a medal in the Olympics, I think. Top 943 says, big up the Harris Army. Big yourself up, my man. Mark Swift's in the building. How are things, lad? We have KONST7. He says, Kois, big yourself up. We have Stuart Such. Says, we should only sell him if we get money that we want. No way should we do Man City any favours. I personally think we should report Man City for blatantly tapping him up. That's a good. That's an opinion I haven't actually heard right now. Good opinion, Stuart. Aaron Dove's in the building. I hope you're keeping well, lad. Richard Bennett. Anyone else heard the rumours of Inter Milan nearly going into liquidation? I have. I wonder, can we take advantage of it? You know, it'd be a nice one to take advantage of. Killian Kenny in for his usual shout out. He says, David is a legend. Kois and Harris Army. See you soon. Let's beat them Gooners. Tell Matty Hayes to give me a shout out, please. Harry Kane is going nowhere this season. Don't worry, I'll get on to him straight away, lad. Bob Spurs in the chat, guys. We will be finishing at around 10, 10:15. And then you can head straight over here to Bob Spur TV, guys. We have Marek. He says, Anthony, he says, humble. Very nice. Mark Woodland says, hi, David. Big yourself up, Mark. Dan N. Big up the Harris Army. Big yourself up, Dan N. I hope you're keeping well. We have Tom R. says, good evening, Sir David, Ireland's #1 Tottenham Hotspur and Harry Stinks fan. Good evening. No Jack today, lad. No Jack. That was a bit premature of you today, man. Little Big Man says, selling him for 160 million. Levy is right. If City wants him, pay the value now. Yeah, that's an interesting take. James Redmond. Harry Kane is not worth the trouble. Cash in now while he is still fit and wanting a transfer. Well, interesting to see what everyone's thoughts are. There's a good mix. Joe Grimes is in the building. Joey, I hope you're keeping well, lad. Hope you're keeping well and hope to see you Monday on the fan show, my man. And we have Monindir Singh. Everywhere we go, he's absolutely loving the intro. I hope you're keeping well. Chris is in the building. Chris, hope to see you on Monday as well, lad. We have ATX7 Gaming says, big up Dave and the lads. Good vibes. It's always good vibes when Paxton Road around, I can tell you that. William McKenzie, big up, David. Good to see fresh faces. Thank you, William. I appreciate that. Dean Webb, hi, guys. We have Raphael for Squeak. Oh, evening, lads. I think we can beat Man City even without Kane. If it's the case, call me deluded if you want. No, I love a bit of delusion, lad. You're at the home in delusion. So keep that optimism. I love it. Sean Snow says, I'll take 130 million. He deserves a transfer. And if we don't, we'll have another Ericsson who played at 75% and he's sold. Yeah, interesting. Tony Hall, Big yourself up, Eddie Ryan, as well. Do you think it was a masterstroke to get Romero on loan? We'll be touching on that, and yes, I do. Michael Cronley Gray, I hope you're keeping well, lad. I hope you're not stiff after Astro last night. Jack Chamberlain, Brian C's in the building. Brian, you're an absolute legend. I hope things are good, man. Risky Void, great content. Thank you. Constantine, he says big up. But look, guys, a lot of messages to get through. Paul Mark is in there as well. Kane has been poorly representing this whole affair by his brother, who was a poor amateur playing in a pond of sharks. Yeah, I like that. I like that reference. And yeah, we're not quite past the threshold yet. So I get what you're saying. I can't really repeat it right now, but we will. Says, smashing stuff, my friend. All good to hear. Thank you so much, guys. Make sure you do smash a like on the channel. You know, make sure you smash the subscribe if you're new. If you are enjoying what Paxton Road has to say, guys, I did put their YouTube link in the description below. So at any time, feel free to get over there and smash the subscribe button on the channel. And also, look, why not help support your favorite content creator, you know, with a super chat or two. You know, it really does go a long way to help supporting the channel. And look, get your questions in as well and get all your comments in the comment section and let me know your answers to the questions I'm about to ask the guys. But look, we'll start with the statement. It says almost, this is Harry Kane's statement. It's almost 10 years since my debut for Tottenham Hotspur. For every one of these years, the fans have shown me total support and love. That's why it hurts to read some of the comments that have been made this week questioning my professionalism. While I won't go into specifics on the situation, I want to clarify that I would never and have never refused to train. I will be returning as planned, which was today. I wouldn't do anything to jeopardize the relationship I have with the fans who have given me such unwavering support during my time with the club. This has always been the case, and as it is today. Well, look, Shane, I want to know what your thoughts on the whole Harry Kane situation is and Harry Kane's statement.
Okay, so the first thing is I think he's been poorly advised. He's got his brother is his agent. Whether or not his brother's a seasoned, experienced agent, I don't know. From the looks of it, it's not really. There's a couple of things. Harry Kane signed an extension to his contract, 6 years, took him to another 3 years from now, which takes him to 2024, I believe. If we look at the Jack Grealish situation, when he signed his new contract with Aston Villa, he made sure he had a break clause in there, or a clause which said if somebody comes in for 100 million, it's a Champions League club, he can go. If Harry Kane was smart and he had good representation, surely he would have had some sort of break clause or something in there to state something like that. If someone comes in for 150 million, whatever that would be. And I'm sure that Daniel Levy couldn't really have turned it down because Harry Kane would not have then signed his contract extension. Whatever's happened, he's been poorly managed. The fact is, now that the statements come out, there's so many things and so many holes in the statement. It's unbelievable. Stating he'd always planned to come back on Saturday. So why was Sky Sports standing around on Monday expecting him to come back? The club saying, oh, well, he's not turned up. Then you're hearing the facts that he's going to be get 2 weeks' wages docked. Nobody says anything. Not the club, not Harry Kane. Jack Grealish then goes the day before. So and behold, Harry Kane comes out and says, oh, well, I've always a Spurs man. I'm never going to disrespect the fans, and it's always my plan to come back on Saturday. Come on now. We're not silly. There's been a lot of fuss made in the press, and a lot of the press have over-egged the situation, but there's something not right. He did mention there's something in his statement to say he can't go into specifics about the situation, whatever that means. We all know Harry Kane wants to go. The value is not been put up by City, so he can't go anywhere unless his agent had some written agreement. This gentleman's agreement stuff is all bollocks. Unless it's written down in a contract, that's it. He's stuck. Yeah. Now, again, whether or not he wants to stay and play for the fans, I'm not sure. It's going to be interesting to see what happens over the next week or so. Yeah,
it is. It is going to be very interesting. It's just one big clusterfuck, to be honest with you, Shane. You know, it's just like the thing is, we haven't had an official statement from the club. Now, look, they did make a statement for TalkSport, rightly so, may I add. But if they can make one for TalkSport, why can't they make one for us fans about the Kane situation? And look, Harry Kane is the only one that has come out with a statement. And look, the thing is with Sky Sports, we know they're anti-Tottenham. You know, of course, they'll be sitting there waiting Monday morning, you know, to try and blow the situation up. But look, it's clear there is a situation, though. You know, you have Harry Kane saying there's a situation. Nuno said it'd be dealt with internally. So it is starting to get a bit worrying. But look, I do have other questions, but I just want to get Mr. K's thoughts here on oh no, Mr. K is frozen. We have a new Mr. K. I just want to get Mr. K's. No, he was not. So we'll go to Don P. Mr. K, you missed your turn. Don P, what's your thoughts on the Harry Kane situation and the statement, man?
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, Spurs for Life was saying that he was poorly advised. I actually think, going back to Charlie Kane being his brother, I actually do think that there is some truth in the matter of the fact that at one stage, Harry Kane actually probably felt that he was going to stay at Tottenham for life. He thought that it wasn't so crucial and so imperative for him to have this top or high-flying agent. So he thought, you know what I'll do? I will help my brother out, do him a favor. I'm going to stay at this club anyway. And at the time when he was signing even just before he was signing the 6 years, he probably genuinely thought that the club had ambition and that he was going to stay with us. So who is to blame here? I think there are a number of people to blame. Definitely Levy, because I genuinely believe if Levy had backed Pochettino when he had the opportunity to, we wouldn't be in this situation, because we would have had players, we would have probably won at least a trophy by now, and it would have just been a different complete climate. However, that being said, I don't think Levy is completely to blame. On this specific occasion, and believe me, I'm not a Levy lover, but on this occasion, that statement by Kane was just so untrue, basically.
It's woolly. It's got holes in it.
It was riddled with holes. To actually say that he had planned to come to training on Saturday all the time is a complete falsehood. There is no way, as Spurs for Life mentioned, that Sky reporters would have been out there on Monday. There is no way, if that was the case, that he would have kept quiet for 5 days before releasing this statement. I know there was talk about, obviously, Grealish sold, etc., but I think Grealish was always going. I think really what it was down to, I think it was his own embarrassment of knowing that he was actually going to have to go training with the rest of the Tottenham players tomorrow, or today, in effect. And I think that he needed to do something to kind of almost break the ice. I think that what will probably end up happening is he probably will end up going to Man City, because they will end up stumping up very close to what we originally wanted. So if it's not going to be 160, it will be around the 150 there or thereabouts, either straight cash or with a combination of players. But yeah, Kane, when you have players like Berbatov and coming out saying, how can you treat the club like that by refusing to train? That I think
oh dear me, Berbatov of all people. Jesus Christ.
No, mate.
Thank you.
No, it's well, yeah, exactly. When a player like Berbatov is coming out, who made no secret of his desire to leave, you know you're in a bad situation. But do you think it was a case that maybe Kane misread the situation, didn't think it would blow up like it did?
Who wants to take that? Mr. K, you haven't you was on. Go on.
Sorry about that, guys. I had a few internet issues. I don't know, maybe the children are streaming some HD content somewhere. But I heard what Don said, and I started off hearing what Sam said. And you know what? You guys have covered like the strategic points, the tactical points. From me personally, I look at the personal points of the human points that the fans feel, that Harry Kane and his family might be feeling. This is a complete and utter crap show. We can all see it. Look, I started off Monday, Tuesday, being heartbroken, seeing one of my icons, one of my idols in the football team, you know, someone I've respected an awful lot, being attacked by an awful lot of the fan base. I jumped in front of it. Trust me, everyone absolutely thought I was going to lunatic there, thought I'd become deluded. I began to understand on the Wednesday that the pain that people feel, there's merit to their feelings, because we're being played about here. We're not being given. Look, it's a simple thing that Bob Spur said. He goes, you know, if this is a situation, what they want to say, what they're doing, and how they're treating the situation. Why does it take a player to tell us what he's up to? It should be the club doing that. Now, I'm not dissolving Kane of any blame here.
Mr. K's frozen again.
Frozen, isn't it?
Oh,
But we get his point, though, don't we, Irish Hotspur? We
Around,
get it.
boys? Am I still around?
You
Sorry,
are.
I
But
think I
your
cut off
screen's
there for a
frozen.
while.
He's
are you
gone.
back?
Okay, right. Don't worry about my screen. The main thing is this, right? Yeah, is that this is a fiasco. There's nothing you can believe about the statements. Oh, right.
No, you're back. You're back. Go on.
Mike, if you come out and then come back in again.
Yeah.
I don't mind continuing. I'll continue on from that point. So Mr. K mentioned a couple of things there. He's talking about the personal touch. I don't know if he meant he's maybe feeling a little bit sorry for Harry Kane. I don't feel any sorrow. If you sign a contract, 200 grand a week for 6 years, you're set. You're done. You're set. He done it for his own benefit. If he hadn't signed that contract, we'd be all up in arms now if Harry Kane had a year left on his contract and Daniel Levy said we're going to have to sell him for basically peanuts. So it was a win-win situation for both the club and the player. The fact is, the biggest thing that he didn't put no clauses in his contract. That's down to his agent and his representation. Put a clause in there. Even if it was a £200 million clause in there, whatever it is, put something in there to tell people who are willing to possibly spend that sort of money. Right, there's a clause that we can maybe get him out. Jack Grealish did it. Jack Grealish, do you know what I'm saying? He thought about that, and Jack Grealish is not at the level of Kane. So I cannot understand why representation for him could not see that. He's been at Spurs a long time. We haven't won anything since 2008. What was the likelihood that we were going to win loads and loads and loads? Look at Man United. They spent oodles and oodles of money, ain't won nothing in the last X amount of years. And they're a top club, not just a Spurs. They're a top club. So spending money was no guarantee that we were going to win anything. So what do? If I was in this situation, you know what? We might not win here. I'll put something in case I need to make a quick exit and get out. 150 million. Daniel, put that in my contract. If you don't, I'm not signing this contract. Simple as.
Yeah.
And then we would have been up in arms saying, oh, how comes Harry Kane's not signing? The club's doing shit. The club's bollocks. Well, there you go. Win-win situation. He's not winning currently.
Do you know what was worse? Spurs for life as well. Just to compound that, make it even worse, that was 6 years ago. But when supposedly he had this gentleman's agreement with Levy last year, surely when you're doing that conversation, you add something, you have something in writing that says, now that we have spoken, if should another bid come in for X amount of money, I can go. You know what I mean? You can add a clause onto your contract. It's 6 years. Surely you would do something like that. I don't understand it.
No, look, you know, a gentleman's agreement with Daniel Levy is come on now. You can never ever trust that. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's as useful as a paper bag in the rain. You know what I mean? You just don't do it. It's absolutely ridiculous. Surely you could have seen that coming from a mile away. I 100% agree with you, lads. If you want to break out, you put something in your contract. It's that simple. But look, that probably comes down to that his family, his representatives, they're probably a bit naive in that aspect. But look, a sub chat to get to here from Brian C says, big up the Paxton Road lads. It's a pity that the uncertainty around the Kane situation has distracted a bit from what is a statement signing in Romero. Do you think Kane can gel with the dressing room again if he stays? Guys, which one of you from Paxton Road wants to take this?
So it just builds on for my point, Irish Hotspur, what I said, the timing of the statement. I just think it just so happens that it was the day before he was due to go back to training. So I think he did that with them in mind, to be fair. Yes, partly to the fans, but also to the players as well. I think ultimately footballers are ultimately quite selfish people. So, and they are they do think about their individual careers. And the way they look at it is, if I was in his situation and I had the opportunity to join the champions, I might actually go. So I don't think really too many of them are going to begrudge him. But it is going to be interesting. I was just reflecting now that we've got Romero, so solid man.
You can call him whatever you want.
So solid man
joining. I actually do believe we've got quite a few Spanish speakers in the dressing room now, haven't we? We've got him, we've got Reguilon, we've got Lo Celso. Our keeper looks like he's pretty multilingual as well. So it's going to be interesting as well, just to see. And obviously, hopefully we'll get rid of Winks. It will be interesting to see what the dressing room culture is like.
Yeah. Look, hopefully Harry Winks will go. That's 100%, lad. But look, I want to say a massive thank you to Brian C for the super chat, for the support. I really do appreciate it. Everyone, I will, as always, I know everyone's not in a position to get the super chat in. I will get everyone's comment up on screen as good as I can. I know I have Jack here to help me today. But look, get your super chats in if you want your questions read out and discussed and stuff like that. Big up Brian C, and thank you very much for the support. Mr. K, look, Harry Kane has declared that in no way he has intentionally missed training, and that he has always intended to return as planned. A lot of fans have said that the club or Harry needed to announce this prior, and it's a PR disaster. Do you think Harry Kane is responsible to tell the facts of the situation, or is it up to the club? You're on mute, lad.
Mr. K's having a nightmare today. You're on mute.
You're on mute, Mr. K. There's technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties. Do you want me to?
Yeah, you take it, Shane. Can't hear you, Mr. K.
So just remind me what the question was, just so I can.
So Harry Kane has declared that he is in no way he has intentionally missed training. He had always intended to return today as planned. Lots of fans have said that the club or Harry needed to announce this prior, maybe on Monday, and that's a PR disaster. Do you think Harry Kane is responsible to tell the fans the situation, or is the onus on the club?
No, he doesn't have to tell people when he's coming back, but surely someone should know. The club should know. Nuno should know. Everything that's happened over the last week since Monday, nobody seemed to know. After the game against Chelsea, in the press conference, which Nuno just got question after question after question, he looked like a man that was under so much pressure because he didn't know what was happening. He didn't know where his best player was. All he had to do, if he knew, was say, Harry Kane's due back on Saturday. There's been a bit of miscommunication. He's due back on Saturday. The club made a mistake, or whatever it was. Somebody could have made a mistake and said that. Nobody did, because, in my opinion, he was due back on Monday. He wanted to do this in order to force his way out. I think it's definitely backfired on him. So he's kind of seen the light. He can't go back into Tottenham expecting us to be like, yay, Harry Kane, without some form of, patching things up, some form of repair job. They're trying their best now in terms of the Harry Kane camp to try and repair the job. The club, they could have come out and said, blah, blah, blah. Don't believe all the press conferences. Don't believe all the press writings. He was due back on Saturday. Nobody's come out and said that. But Harry Kane, after Jack Grealish is now signed, has decided, oh, right, I was due back on Saturday. I'm going to tell the fans. This is all part of now the repair job. If this repair job goes well, of course we've got to welcome Harry Kane back. I just don't know whether or not he's going to be the player that we're going to really, really rely on this season. I think he's going to be professional, but I don't think his heart's going to be 100% there.
Do you think he's going to stay?
Yep.
I don't think he's got a choice.
Going to stay?
Unless they put the money up, there's no way he's going. Someone's got to pay 150 million. So I don't see him.
I do see him staying. I don't see what other club is going to put the money up. I know what Pep Guardiola was saying in his interview, that realistically only cost them 40 million because 60 million they paid was in winning earnings that they won over last season. So I wonder, is that kind of but we do have enough money to complete the Kane deal? That'd be very interesting to see. Danny Kiriakou says, Mr. K just got Kane. Big up, Danny. Really appreciate that. But just back to you quickly, Sam, and then we'll give Mr. K another go. Sam,
go.
What you're saying there about, basically, like with Kane and stuff like that. I do think there should have been an onus on the club. There should have been some sort of statement by now. What do you think?
Right. So I generally believe that not a lot comes out of Spurs generally when it comes to things. There's the odd statement that normally comes out. Daniel Levy never says anything. I've never heard Steve Hitchen come out and say anything. I've never heard anybody really come out and say much. They might put the odd thing in the press. So they've kind of let this story run. To some degree, maybe that's part of this whole, any press is good press. So, you know what I mean? It just means people are making clicks and all the likes and Spurs officials getting like. And I think that's all part of it. But it got to a stage where, hold on a minute, Harry's due back here. He's not back. What do we do? Right, we have to be shown to be like the masters of his destiny. So we'll say he was due back on Monday and he's going to get 2 weeks. That's what I was hearing. But there was nothing official that came out. So it was all kind of like Sky Sports drumming up this thing. And nobody, it could have been so easily dealt with. He doesn't turn up on Monday. Somebody from the press office comes out, puts a statement on the website. There has been some miscommunication. Harry Kane's due back on Saturday. The player doesn't have to say anything. Nuno doesn't have to get any more questions in the press. He can just say he's due back on Saturday. They've let this continue to this point. Jack Grealish has signed, as I keep saying it again and again, and now it's kind of like damage limitation. He has to do something because I don't believe City are going to stump up 150 mil. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, interesting. Mr. K, I've sent you over to look at the Irish, third time lucky, my man. But look, why do you
luck of the Irish
put out a statement?
Look, at the end of the day, someone had to put a statement out. Someone somewhere had to put a statement out. The question is, why is it the player that's putting the statement out? Look, Harry's not without fault in terms of us as the fans, in terms of what we expect from our players. He has his own personal thing going on between himself and the club. Fine, that's fair enough, separate. But us as fans, we're not mugs. You know? Fair enough, Monday, Tuesday, didn't turn up for training. Yeah. There's something going on, negotiations between him and the club. It makes us look like idiots to the rest of the world. He acts in an unprofessional manner. That's uncharacteristic of him, considering we've never seen him like this before. His brother doesn't seem to have a clue about how to handle the matter. Now, here's the strange thing. While the club is doing nothing, no official statements, nothing coming out, they're doing their business, they're broadcasting that, but when it comes to the Harry Kane situation, they're absolutely mum. That means that order comes from the top. Because don't forget, Spurs official are not doing anything by accident either. So I think to a certain degree,
100%.
there's definitely 100%. Something's happened, like you said, the tactics, the pieces on the board, maybe a new piece coming on like Messi, whatever, maybe Grealish getting a move, whatever it is, at the end of the day, something's not gone to plan. Now, whoever's planned it hasn't gone to their plan. We as fans, we're left in the dark. We haven't got a clue. We doubt everything that anyone says.
Let me just say something. So, you know, all this stuff that's been going on and all this not knowing, which club is the number one trending club currently anywhere in the world, possibly? Probably Spurs. It's all by design. A lot of this is by design, I'm telling you, because they don't come out and say anything. They've let Kane did that interview with Gary Neville some months ago. That's all been Sky Sports out. Everybody, is Harry Kane leaving? Even us as fan channel content providers, we're getting people wanting to know what our opinions are, clicking on us. Everything goes up. So do you think Spurs officials' website is not going to get click? TalkSport, clicks. Everybody's getting clicks because it's a story. As I said, any press is sometimes good press. What happens now is it's got a little bit out of control because Harry Kane's probably, right, it's not quite going according to my plan. And Tottenham is, well, Harry Kane's now still our player. We've got to make sure that we get him back into the right frame of mind because we can't have an asset that's worth 150 mil that decides I'm not going to play 100% and he decides that he gets injured. Let's say the second game of the season, mysteriously he'll be out for 6 months. That's the sort of attitude he could potentially take. That's not what we want. So he's somehow he's got to repair the relationship he has with the fans, his own teammates. But I think a lot of them probably know anyway, because a lot of the stuff is inside in the team. But the fans need to get that little bit of a assurance that he is going to give 100%. That's all I want to know. But if he's not, get rid of him. Yeah, but no one's paying that money.
No, interesting. And just to follow up to Mr. K as well, do you think like Sam, aka Shane, aka General of Paxton Road, was saying there that it was designed on purpose by the media or by Tottenham to not say anything? Do you think like that was done on purpose? Or do you think maybe it was kind of like
that's an order.
Let Kane make the first move and see how the situation pans out and take it from there?
It seems to be a chicken shoot going on. It seems to be like shooting out the high roll corral at noon or something. They seem to be facing each other off. That's 100% certain. It's one group versus another group playing hardball. Now, all the marbles, as most people in the audience and the viewers and in other channels and so on, they're clever enough to know when you're going in negotiation against Levy, you're not going to win. He's holding all the cards. The contract, the club, the media, Spurs official, the tweaking of Twitter, all of these things, the strings of our heart. The fact that before even Monday started, fans were already throwing shade upon Kane means that this orchestration, as Sam said, this is not happened by random chance. Hang on. Sorry about that. Orchestration going on. There seems to be a little bit of orchestration. Having said that, look, we're split in our minds as to who to direct our frustration at. Do we throw it at Levy? Do we throw it at Kane? Or let's just throw it at his brother because he's a gooner. You know? At the end of the day, Sam's right. The most important thing to me, and I think most fans out there, is who's playing Sunday. Because we've got a derby going on. We've got Romero coming in, I'm excited about. We've got a lovely goalkeeper, I'm excited about. The other guy, I'm not too sure about. We'll see what happens. Maybe he turns into a Winko Lamela. We'll find out soon enough. Might turn into an Ericsson. Who knows? That's what we're interested in. As soon as I took Kane and Levy out of my mind, just for a few days, I started to bubble up with excitement. I started to look at the statements that Nuno was saying. I started to look at the way that our team was playing. I started to look at the little movements, the forward press movements, how they were supporting each other. They weren't doing it all the time, but when they did it correctly. How were they defending? How was Skip being used on the right-hand side of the midfield? You know, there's a big weakness there on the right-hand side, right? But there's an even bigger one on the left. So we need to sort these two areas out. You know, the left wing and the right wing, we need to sort them out. So myself personally, these are the things that made me excited. The excitement started bubbling up saying, yeah, man. And that comeback that we did against Chelsea, I know it's a friendly, but the score matters. It would have mattered if we lost. So it matters just as much the fact we drew. The problem is in the media out there is that anytime we get something, they play it down. And it makes us feel like it's nothing. But anytime against us, they pick it up.
I'm not bothered if he plays against Arsenal on Sunday, to be fair. I don't really care. If he'd have come back on Monday, there might have been a chance, but I don't really care. Because we've not seen a lot of players that I think we should have seen in pre-season already. All I want him to do is be ready for Manchester City come the first game of the season. And if he'd have come back into training and was doing what he was doing, he would have been. Now, he's not. And is that, again, is that by him, by his design? It's certainly not by Tottenham's design, because I know they want their best players on the pitch. But something is not quite worked out right in terms of both camps. And now it's, like I said, a bit of a repair job. It's definitely a repair.
It is tit for tat going on right now. Sam, blatantly, the club itself the manager, Nuno and the rest of the players, they need Kane to come back last Monday.
Yeah,
they needed him then. It's not a case of like we would like you when you do turn up to start playing. No, we need you at the beginning. So need is gone. Now it's compromise. This is blatantly compromise, left, right, and center. Right now, the thing is, while we get distracted from our hearts about this particular issues, and as David said, and Sam said, it trends. As football fans, we really want to see how does this affect our football team? How does it affect on the pitch? Man City is a 100%. Massive game. If we start off with Man City in a pathetic way, the rest of the season will continue like that. But myself personally, I think I've got a funny feeling that Nuno and Fabio, they get along with each other. Now, the fact that Romero's here, don't forget, Romero was brought into Juventus by Paratici. So Paratici knows Romero really, really well.
Mr.
You know, this is his wonder boy. Sorry?
You're going way off topic here, lad.
Okay. My point being, coming around to it, is basically we've got the team going forward and we've got this political sideshow going on, right? As Sam said, it doesn't matter about the sideshow. If this boy turns up when he said he's supposedly supposed to turn up, turns up to Man City, performs at the level that we expect him to, then at least we stand a chance. We're not going to get humiliated. We need our best players to play against Man City because they're an amazing outfit, bro. And, to go up against, I wanted us to win 4-1. I know we probably will. Now that we got Romero, a wonderful goalkeeper, Sonny's signed a new contract. If Kane comes back in, then fantastic. We're going to see at least 2-3 goals out of him because he's going to want to prove something. Now, the question is, will the rest of the team support him? And the answer is, they don't have a choice. They don't have a choice. They're not big enough. They're not big enough to diss on him, right? Like they did with Danny Rose. He's no Danny Rose. Yeah?
Can I just come back to that? Come back to the topic of the statement and whether or not what Tottenham, the club, should do and if they should have said something and about the PR. I think there's a couple of facts that we should know. Obviously, our communications director has resigned. Yeah, moment he's on gardening leave at the moment. So we haven't got a comms director in place. And probably one of the reasons why we haven't got a comms director in place, even though he has been with the club for quite a while, is it must have been pretty difficult with him, because if you look at the way Daniel Levy is, he's an introvert, isn't he? He doesn't like to say things. He likes to keep things within. He doesn't like to communicate. So I don't think the fact that we might be number one trending something to do with his wonderful marketing comms pro. I think it's more to do with the fact that he likes to keep things internalized. And that's why he gave Nuno the line, we're going to deal with this internally. And that's what he was saying to the
he repeated it again and again.
Yeah. In terms of the point around Kane and what will happen if he does stay and Man City doesn't stump up the cash, and him all of a sudden getting some mysterious injury, I don't think that will happen. The reason why I don't think that will happen is because I think he is so motivated to beat Alan Shearer's record. He knows that he can't afford to be out for too long. That's why he only wants to play in the Premiership as well.
Yeah, interesting. Super chat here from Dusty Tone says, regardless if Kane stays or leaves, how much does all this uncertainty affect the rest of the team going forward for this season? I'm pretty sure, Mr. K, you were saying that. So look, Dusty Tones, it is a bit of a question I do have for a bit later on. But look, we'll throw this one to Don Patrick here, because he was quiet there for a while, so we let him answer.
Don Patrick.
Don Paddy.
He's the Don.
I love it. So regardless of Kane, how much does it all affect the rest of the team going forwards for the season? I think the key thing is understanding whether or not he stays or not. So obviously, if he stays, assuming that he stays, and Manchester City don't stump up the cash, I think, as I said before, I just think that he's so focused on breaking that Alan Shearer record that it will be fine. I think more of an impact on the team would be whether or not my other namesake, Don P, does his job and gets more players in. Yep. If Don P gets another centre back, he gets a replacement. He sells Winks. He sells Sissoko. Either plays at Dembele or decides to sell him, because at this moment in time, I just don't know what is happening with Dembele. Yeah. But I think that's going to be the key thing, because I think a person like Kane is thinking to himself, who have I got with me? Who's going to be able to supply those bullets to me? I think that's the biggest question, really.
Yeah.
I think to answer this question down here, the uncertainty effect of the players, right? Yeah, let's face it, the vast majority of the squad, right? Yeah, are the same squad that was here last season. They have spent years looking up to Kane as someone who pulls them out of the trouble. Now, at the beginning of Monday, right? Yeah, he didn't turn up. Nuno probably turned around to the rest of the players and probably either said one of two things: either we're the team, is down to us, or he's probably kept politically quiet about it and just got on with the training itself and not had too much of a discussion with the players about it. So the players have probably had to speak to each other. Now, there's definitely some sort of communication curfew going on. That's 100% fact. And as Don turned around and said, Levy is that type of introvert fella, right? Yeah, that doesn't like to speak. And when he does, he wants everything to be within his control. That video, the one time he's come out with a proper video statement, was such an orchestrated Dr. No video, right? Yeah, that it looked like Hollywood put it together. You know, dark background,
but he would,
head shining, all that type of thing.
It would make sense for him to do that.
No,
he's not going to He's not going to sit in front of a reporter who's going to ask him questions that's going to trip him up. That's obvious. No. He's not going to do that. Just going back to the point about the rest of the squad, though, if it was really that detrimental, someone like Son probably wouldn't have signed a contract. Do you know what I'm saying? Son is probably on the same sort of level as Kane for me in terms of his importance to our team and squad. So if Son and Kane and all of these players talk, let's not get it twisted. Dele Alli, Son, Kane, you can go through the whole squad. They all know what's going on in terms of their own personal stuff. I don't think someone like
remember
Son,
that hug? You remember that hug they had on the last day?
Yeah. I do, but then if you think about it, Son has signed a contract extension to stay at the club. if he's, it might be financial. Of course, it's going to be some financial in there, but he didn't have to sign, and we would have probably had to sell him. And there's no doubt he could have gone to probably majority of teams in world football. He's that good.
PSG.
But he's seen something in what we're doing in terms of maybe that's, Paratici bringing players in. Maybe there's something in there that he's thinking to himself, yeah, I'm going to give it a go, even if Harry Kane's not there. So they would have had this chat. You know what, son, I'm going. I'm seeing you later. You know what? I'm staying here because I can see there's something else beyond Harry Kane. You get 150 million for him. You spend that wisely. You can supplement the goals. Don't get me wrong. Harry Kane is a major miss for any team, but there is no player that you can say
bigger than
the club.
Yeah. I agree. And just on that point around Son being on the same level as Kane, arguably Son turns up to more big games than Kane does.
100%.
That's a debate we can have, Dan Patrick. We have to have that debate. Justin Tones, I want to say thank you so much.
That's a debate,
my man. Thank you so much for the support, my man. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Everyone else, feel free to get your support in, get your questions in for the panel and stuff like that. Back to Shane here. Kane is set to remain, at the very comfortable surroundings of Tottenham away or Tottenham Lodge, Hotspur Lodge, with the hotel. He is isolating until Thursday. He will be training on his own on a pitch, which effectively means he's not going to be around for the City game. Now, look, I know the isolation and everything else is procedure, but do you think that was done intentionally from Kane's side to not appear in the City game, to maybe try and force a move? And second of all, do you think it's just going to create more of a backlash for the guy?
So there was talk about Kane possibly not being available for the game weeks and weeks ago anyway, because of the time that England finished in the Euros, and there was talk about some of the Man City players not being available. Now, I've already heard that Foden's not going to be playing, John Stones potentially might not be playing, and somebody else, De Bruyne, might not be playing. Whether this is all connected to the Euros, whether they've come back, whether they're slightly injured, there was always going to be this degree that he might not play anyway. We are more... Say again? Grealish. Grealish played today, yeah. But I think with Grealish, he didn't play as much in that Euros as he should have done. He should have played more. That's another debate we could have. But on the Kane thing, he might not have played anyway. The fact is, did he do it by design? Did he do it intentionally? I'm not quite sure. I just think he tried to force this move out, and he was probably going to be doing this. I'm not gonna train thing, and it might have gone on even longer than today, if, as I said, the trigger being the Jack Grealish thing didn't happen. So now it's kind of like, oh shit, what do I do now? I'm not going to go to City potentially because they spent 100 million on somebody else. They're not going to spend 150 million on me. And also what happened was in the press conference with Pep Guardiola, he was doing some things to unsettle the players still. Pep Guardiola famously says, that's a player for another team. I don't want to talk about it. But what he said in the interview, Harry Kane's Spurs, but if we can stump up the money, blah, 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 and people are willing to do a deal, then of course we'll be interested in. When does he ever say that? I've never heard him say that ever, because he doesn't want that done to him and he doesn't do it to anybody else. Pep has respect like that. So there is still this kind of like what's uncertainty, but I think he's done that to unsettle Kane such that we can have he's not going to play in that first game. So now City,
that's why I think that there is still a chance that Kane might go towards the end of the window. He might have made a statement.
John, I think there's a chance, but also I also believe that judging by what happened in the game today, City are not on point. And I've always said the best time to play City is the very first game of the season when they're not in clicking. They're not in, everybody's not gelled. Players have come back from all over the place. Copper, America, you know what I mean? They've all come from all over the world to come back. They're not at their best, as was proved today. So now what Pep's doing is a little bit more, adding a bit more fuel to the fire, maybe unsettle them a little more. We haven't got all our best players playing because Harry Kane's one of them. Maybe that's going to play into his hands come the game against them next week. That's how I think of it.
Yeah, interesting. Very interesting points there. Dan P, I'll get your thoughts on this one as well.
Yeah. The question now. Remind me of the question again now.
So Kane is set to remain at Tottenham Lodge basically until Thursday, training on his own. It is standard procedure with the isolation and stuff like that, but it is due to him being late still on his holidays. He has to return. He has to do bloods and provide a test and stuff like that. Now, obviously, it's standard procedure, but do you think it was done on purpose on his side? And do you think there would be a lot more of a backlash because it's almost certain he's not going to play against Man City?
Yeah. So I don't think it was done by design by his brother. I don't think Charlie Kane is that clever. He thinks that the plan and say, do you know what? If you come in and you make your statement on Friday, then that means that you could train by yourself on this pitch, and then that means you definitely won't play on City. I think it was more to do with what Spurs for Life was saying, which is that he wanted to throw his toys out of the pram and basically show that he wanted to leave the club, that he was unhappy because he feels that he's got this so-called gentleman's agreement where he can leave the club. And I think it all come to a head. Yes, the Grealish deal going through was a big effect. And I also think that he thought to himself, you know what is going to happen? Because ultimately, it might be, I think he still might go to City, but what was clear is that it wasn't going to be done quickly. So he's still going to have to join the team. So he's going to have to say something. And that's why I think he did it on the Friday, because he knew that he was going back to training on the Saturday. So I don't think it was done by design. I think, yeah, you're right, because he played all the games and he was playing most of the England games. So he was only substituted like once or twice in the group games, wasn't he? But towards all the knockout stages, he played all the 90 minutes. So I don't think he was probably ever going to be fit for the City game. But I do think if he had his way, he wouldn't turn out at all for Tottenham. So who have we got next after City? Who's the game after City? Is it? I can't remember who we've got after City.
I'll have to look. I can't remember even now.
Yeah, by the way, anyway.
We've all gone a bit blank there.
But what I actually think though is I think that Kane released a statement because he's playing the long game. I think he realizes now that he's got to keep a feet in both camps. So he needs to protect himself if the deal doesn't go. But if City do come up with the money, then he will go towards. It might end up being like a last day of the transfer window stuff, like a Levy special.
Yeah, it's look, Don. At the end of the day, right? Yeah,
I don't think it's going to be.
He's released a. Yeah.
Sorry, Mr. K. Go on.
He's released a statement. Which why didn't he release the statement before? Why has he released it now? And is he allowed to release statements without the club? And doesn't the content of the statement have to be filtered by the club? So the fact that he's actually made a statement. Go on.
Okay, I forgot to say. I actually think another reason why Levy and the club are quiet. I actually think that they feel that Kane's brother is so stupid to let them dig their own grave.
Yeah.
I really think that they just thought to themselves, you know what, let them dig their own grave and just let them do what they're doing.
100%. 100%. I wouldn't put it past them. I really wouldn't put it past them. I genuinely believe they do think that. That's a great point, my man. Mr. K, I do want to say quickly, actually, there's 460 people watching right now. Look, guys, a lot of comments in here saying they're absolutely enjoying Pax and Roll being on the channel. So, guys, please do get over and check them out and make sure you smash the subscribe button on their channel, guys. Shane has it all here, and the link for their channel is in the description below. Make sure you do smash a like on the stream and get your super chats in if you have any questions or anything like that for the panel. The chat is flying. I will keep getting your comments up like I already am. But, guys, it is hard to stop and take everybody's comment in and discuss it. So if you genuinely do want it discussed or you have any questions you really do want answered, get your super chats in and we'll definitely get on to them. Mr. K, many have taken the stance that that no player is actually bigger than the club. And look, you know, a lot of them are saying that Kane is damaged goods now. Do you keep him or do you sell him this window? And the reason why I say keep him, Mr. K, is I'm thinking maybe for one more year because, look, it's very easy to say, you know, he's a snake, he's this, he's that, which I actually think is a bit of an overreaction, to be honest with you. But it's very easy to say that. But what you're not taking into account is the assists the guy has, the goals, you know, for Tottenham last season. You like coming into a season, you can't just take that out of the team. You have to replace him with two strikers and probably a centre attacking midfielder. So, do you think we're better off keeping him for one more season and then reevaluating the situation early next summer so that we can already plan for it, get our players in?
No, 100%.
next season and go ahead? Or would you just sell him now and take the opinion that he's damaged goods and get rid of him, he's a snake?
Okay, we watch Spurs, right? Yeah, because we've got a passion and love in our heart for the club and also for football itself. Now, obviously, if you feel hurt inside and you feel disrespected and you can no longer look at this guy and associate him to your club anymore, then you're going to call him a snake, you're going to call him this, everything you see about him, he kicks the ball, he could smash a goal from the goalkeeper, from the halfway to goal, you still wouldn't be impressed. But then there's the other side of players, the fans that love the football, love the club. They want to see it play. So as far as I'm concerned, or they will be concerned, keep him for another season. We need him until the new players gel in, until we get, another striker that's willing to come in. Okay? So the way I look at it is, yes, definitely keep him. Are we going to get our wishes? And the answer is not really in our hands or in our hearts. Right? So, and to say, this guy should never play for our team again, well, that's an emotional setting. So like I said, those people that feel that way, they're going to say, we don't care. But then if that's the case, then we might end up in 6th, 7th or 8th. If Kane is there, Romero's there, good new goalkeeper, maybe bring in 1 or 2 extra players, you never know. Top 4's not beyond us, right?
Yeah,
it all depends if we can get past this saga. If we get past this saga, I mean, we have the trappings of a good team. We really genuinely do. Forget this mass hysteria of thinking our team is full of crap just because Winks is in it and Auria's like leaking goals in the back and Dyer's like watching. Yeah, I can get that narrative. But when you watch them on the whole, there are good points too. And that's without Kane.
Just quickly before Shane comes in there.
Oh, sorry.
I just want to say to Tottenham, talking Tottenham TV, I've seen this a lot lately, saying he's disrespected his teammates. What I will say is they disrespect him on a week-in, week-out basis on the football pitch in their actions. So I'm not taking that as an argument, and I won't be debating it either, especially when you have the likes of Winks, Sanchez, Dyer, Aurier, Sissoko, Davies, and many, many more taking the piss every week. I'm not taking that he's disrespected his teammates because they disrespect him on a regular basis. But sorry, Shane, go on.
No, this thing about we should be saying Kane out, oh, he's a snake. This is football. This is not the first time this has happened. This situation's happened many times. I remember Luis Suarez wanted to leave Liverpool, kept him out. He didn't want to stay, kept him. He had one of his best seasons in that season that he left. There's no reason why Harry Kane, as we use this term, they are professionals. If you're a professional, you'll do your job professionally. You don't have to love the club. Lots of players play for clubs that they don't love. It's the fact that Harry Kane's associated with Tottenham. He's brought through the ranks. He's one of our own. So it hurts us a little bit more that he wants to leave. But this is football. This is a business. If the right price comes for him, they're going to sell him. So what do we do anyway? He's gone. So just the fact that he's going to stay, if Harry Kane is a professional and he does his job, if he scores 3 goals against City, the next game is actually Wolverhampton Wanderers. If he plays against Wolves and scores a hat-trick, will be Harry Kane fantastic, great. I don't think anybody will be saying, you know what, he scored 3, but I still think he's a snake. I wouldn't be doing that because I want my team to do as well as possible. I don't care if you don't love the badge anymore. Not bothered. He's now going to be in a position, if he goes into next season and he's got 2 years left, he's the one that's holding the cards. Do you know what I'm saying? Because he can still get his move, potentially, but if he doesn't sign anything else, he can still go on. And Harry Kane at 30, potentially 31, is he still a prospect for somebody? Of course he is. Look at Lewandowski. Look at the amount of players that are still playing at a high level in this modern game. Because if you're a modern player and you've got you've got a good sense of, fitness levels and you change your game and adopt it, he can still be the player. He's already adopted his game slightly. Harry Kane will still bang goals in even when he's in his 30s. So he's still going to be a prospect for somebody. Whether that's Man City, whether that's somebody else, I don't know. But I'm not going to be like, Harry Kane, you this or that. Harry Kane, play to the best of your ability. Get me 20-odd goals. Get me 15 assists. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, 100%. LDN1, it's Paxton Road TV, my man. Descriptions below. Marcelo says, what about Son, Højbjerg, Lucas, or Hugo, who deserve respect? What about the youngsters who look up to him like Dane? Yeah, no, look, them players I don't mind, but like to say the majority of the squad is absolutely ridiculous. When it comes to Son, look, Kane has been here longer than Son, Højbjerg, Lucas. He's been here longer than all them. So look, I do get what you're saying. It's a valid point. And what about the youngsters who look up to him like Dane? Again, another valid point. But Marcelo, you also did say before last season that if Harry Kane had any ambition that he'd leave Tottenham. You did say that last season multiple times. And like, you know, as well, what I'd say to that is that if Harry Kane, you know, I know you're going to say that you didn't think it happened this way, but like if you honestly thought Daniel Levy was going to let Kane just walk away from Tottenham, you know, it's sadly mistaken as well, because
never going to happen.
Because it was never. So like the fact is, Kane is showing the ambition you wanted to show him, Marcelo, and then you're calling him a snake and stuff like that. So, you know, I get what you're saying. Valid point. But
you're going to get fans.
You know, he's showing at the same time, he's showing the ambition that you said he should be showing last season, my man. I do want to let Don P in on the question that I've asked everyone else as well to get his thoughts. Do you want to sell or keep him?
I think it just depends on the money. If we get 150, 160, I think we should. I'm happy for him to go. 150, 160, I'm happy for him to go. He can get on and join the club that he wants to join, and he can get to play with his beloved De Bruyne that he wants to play with. This wonderful guy can give him all the brilliant passes.
Don't hold back, Don.
His agent, I think, but if Man City don't spend the money, and they're only going to be offering us 100 million in pump change, then it's fine. He can stay. He can. But my issue though is that it's bigger than Kane at the moment. Is that even if Kane stays, we need a forward.
We do.
Like it's really, everyone's really gone mute and really quiet about that. Like no forwards.
Yeah, it seems to me that if you turn around and say that we're going to make our team will become better with him in it, or better with him out of it, I mean, it'll take a blind man to think that it won't be better with him in it.
Of course, it's better with him in it.
Of course, he's a top class player. Forget what the politics of the outside. When he gets on the damn pitch, the guy's brilliant.
But what I will say to that, if Kane's attitude was not right and he was in the dressing room and he was doing stuff in the dressing room, that wouldn't make us better. That would make us worse.
No,
it's his attitude, and I don't believe his attitude is going to be right. I hate this club here. You know what? Why are you playing for this? I don't think he's going to be like that. But some players would do that, and we've known that they have to.
No, but he'd be excited to meet the new players.
He's not going to.
No, he's going to be excited to meet the new goalkeeper. He's going to be excited to meet Gill. He's going to be excited to meet.
Regardless if he's excited or not, we're not going to put Harry Kane to train with the youth team. That's not going to happen. We can't have Harry Kane training with the youngsters. It's not a Danny Rose situation here. This is a player that is England's captain and is the best striker in the UK, if not Europe. So there's no way they're going to say you're going to sit in the reserves or the under 20s for 3 years. It's not going to happen. So it's about reintegration. Reintegrate him right. Get him thinking right. Well, even if it's kind of saying, yeah, you can go next year, gentleman's agreement again, but just do something so he gives the best of his ability whilst he's still here. That's it.
Do you know what? If his head has gone, which it appears as though it was, because listening to that Gary Neville interview, it was almost like he really genuinely felt that it was really up to him. He will decide what he needs to do, etc. And all this talk, I was just really, really, really shocked. It might actually be best for the club, I'm just saying in the long run, for him to leave if his heart isn't really in Tottenham. Especially if we get a decent level of money. Because I do think under Don Paratici, we've now got like, it's almost like a new era, isn't it? We're doing the clear out, the rebuild that Pochettino wanted us to do before. And sometimes, age of 28, the same thing what Liverpool did when they sold Coutinho and they got Van Dijk in, they got the Alisson in. I think, do you know what I mean? I think, because ultimately, we know our chairman. Our chairman isn't going to spend much money now unless Kane goes. And I look at the squad, and I'm just sorry. I just look at the midfield. I look at the right back. I look at the fact that we haven't got any forwards, and I'm worried. Sorry, I am worried. I know you was quite optimistic, Mr. K, but I just can't see. I mean, we finished 7th last year, 1 point ahead of that scum that finished 8th. And I'm looking at the team. I'm just thinking something needs to change.
Yeah.
I'll
tell you one thing though.
What I will say is, just for a bit of renewed optimism, is that we were shambolic. We cannot be any worse, and we have signed a centre back, so we can definitely hopefully improve on that. But look, I do take the argument that You look at the signings Chelsea will end up making, the signings United have made, you know, the signing that City probably, they've signed Jack Grealish, hopefully not Harry Kane, and maybe one or two more, you know, and then you look at who has Liverpool, they've signed Kanate. You might be able to get at them, but top four is going to be a hard one to get to, but I do think we can definitely improve on where we finished. I just want to take these.
What about Arsenal?
Who cares about them? Allow them.
I don't give a toss about them.
Don't care about them. Don't stop it.
We'll show them who the boss of North London is on Sunday anyway.
100.
Can't wait to spank them scum and thank the rest.
100.
Talk. I can't wait. I cannot wait. Rohan Kumar says 140 million. Vlahovic, Kunde, Sabitzer, Berardi, and Tomiyasu. Bid already in. Romero, top motivated team that's spend this year. Not next, getting Premier League experience. Look, Vlahovic is a player I would like to come in. A lot of people are saying, is he a one-season wonder? So is Harry Kane, apparently. Look what he went on to do. Kunde, I don't think he'll come to Tottenham, to be honest. I think that's dead in the
Forget
water.
him.
Yeah, Spitzer, I think, man, is actually on his way to Bayern Munich for a link up again with what's his name? That lad that wears skinny pants that Tottenham, all the fans wanted last season. What's his name? Nagelsmann. You know, because he wears trousers and stuff. And then you have Tomiyasu. You know, look, Tomiyasu, I'd like to come in, to be honest with you. He can fill a void at right back and play centre back, so it'd be brilliant. So I absolutely love that super chat. Rohin Kumar, thank you very much, man. I really appreciate it, man.
Apparently, apparently that Vlahovic has signed his contract again. Has renewed his contract, but apparently he's putting a clause in it. That's
Vlahovic
today.
He must have been texting Harry Kane. What do I do? What do I do? Maria Williams says ambition would be scoring in the finals. We actually were in. To me, that love is lost for Kane. He is under contract still. He is the one who signed it. No, look, 100%. Yep. That second part, yep. I fully agree with you, Maria. You know that he is under contract and he's the one who signed it. Do I think he's lost the love for the club? I don't really think so, to be honest with you. I think he'll still always love Tottenham. I still think he carries Tottenham in his heart. Look, what I will say is, and don't get me wrong, I don't want anyone to take this the wrong way. I am not defending him. I'm not defending him, right? All I'm saying is, look, there's three sides to every story. There's the horse's mouth, then there's the club, and then there's the media. Me personally, I don't always believe the media. When it comes to the club and Tottenham, I think they're the two sources we should be listening to. At the minute, all I have to go on is what Harry Kane has said. But do I think he's lost the love for the club? I really don't, to be honest with you. I still think he loves the club. It's just a matter of the fact that he's been... Look, it's like us fans. We've been let down and pissed off with Daniel Levy. So is Harry Kane. You know what I mean? We demonstrated against him. He look, by the looks of it, everything coming out and sitting there and taking a night to analyze it and stuff like that. It kind of looks like that, maybe he's having a bit of a protest as well. But look, at the end of the day, I don't condone missing training. If there's any youngsters out there, always go to training, no matter what the situation, whether you like your coach or not, always go to training. But look, Maria, thank you very much for the support. I really do appreciate it. And the first part, ambition be scoring in the finals, we actually were in. Look, this is a thing I've said a long time ago. I don't buy this if Harry Kane has ever come out. Like if he ever does leave and says, I left because I want to win trophies, because he has had the opportunities at Tottenham to win trophies. So I will never, ever...
by himself, apparently.
Take that from Harry Kane as an excuse. What I think the reason why he does want to leave, if you go back to kind of the thing that he's always said, is as long as Tottenham are progressing in the right direction, I'm more than happy to be here. Tottenham have regressed last season. I just hope that, look, we can resolve the situation with Kane, get a few more transfers in, have a good season, and revisit all next summer. Because one thing I am a bit annoyed with Harry Kane is we don't need this right now, especially with the situation we're in. I get it. It's his career. He's trying to protect it. He's trying to look after it. It is a short career at the end of the day as a professional footballer. I just don't like it with all the stuff that's going on, and especially with our leaders. But big up Maria Williams. I really do appreciate the support. Everyone else, feel free to get your super chats in and keep the support coming in, guys. And then I have two more questions basically for Paxton, and then we are going to end it there. Who wanted? Was that you, Donny boy? Did you want to come in there?
I was just going to pose a question. I was going to say about, do you think that the England players got into Kane when they were away in the European Championships as well?
Are you talking about Miley Cyrus, aka Phil Foden?
Of course they did. Of
course they did. 100%.
That one goes without saying.
Foden said, listen.
Foden, they were all saying, listen, if you stay at Tottenham, you're going to be there and you ain't winning the Champions League or Premier League. Come to us. That's going to happen. That happens all the time.
Do you see the way they celebrated when they scored a goal?
That's left Tottenham and won trophies. They've probably all rang Harry Kane. Get out of there. Everywhere we seem to go, we win trophies. You don't get into that Tottenham. Brian C with a super chat here says, what are the chances that there are talks now going on between Paratici and Nuno with Kane for fresh start and go strong into the new season? Mr. K, you've been quiet. We'll let you in.
I think to a certain degree, look, if he's not going to move, then politically speaking, he's going to have to play for our club. And if he's going to have to play for our club, then he's going to have to repair the damage that he's done with Nuno for a start. Who's the coach? I mean, did he even phone Nuno to say, listen, Nuno, I'm not coming in today?
Doesn't speak to
him. When you talk about disrespect, it's like, forget the disrespect he's done to the fans, first of all. It's the disrespect to his manager, his new manager. All right. You got to remember that the relationship between the players and the manager is fundamentally important. When they decide that they don't want to play for the manager, what happens? The team doesn't play. So when people say, are the players playing for the manager? That's a fundamental relationship. It's fundamentally important to the way that we play. So did he make a communication? Did he phone up Nuno and say, hi, Nuno, it's good to see you. Glad that you're the manager. But unfortunately, I can't come in. Political reasons, or that I want to get away. But I just want to say hi. I don't want to disrespect you. Has that communication occurred? If it hasn't occurred, then it's a big man like Nuno to still work with Kane. But I think that he's too much of an asset for them just to ostracize him to the under-23 squad. That's not going to happen. You can't do it.
Kane. It's never, ever going to happen.
So
never.
If that's the case, then you're going to have to bring him in, which means that bridges and roads are going to have to be built. Now, as far as the PR from Tottenham is concerned, they said, listen, you created this, you fix it. So Harry's had to release a statement. Now the way Harry speaks, is the statement reflective of his words?
Can I say something?
There's
numerous examples of players who don't like their manager. There's numerous examples of players who don't like some of the players in their own team. Teddy Sheringham and Andy Cole was a prime example. They hated each other. They played fantastically well together. There's a number of managers that don't like their players. If you are a professional, you can sort it out. That's what this is about. This is about football and about doing a job on the pitch. I don't care if you don't like Nuno. I don't care if Nuno don't like him. Nuno needs to find a way to integrate him back into the squad, back into the team, and get him to do his job. That's all that needs to happen. There's no way on earth that they're going to say, Harry Kane, I can't work with him. He's going to have to be with the reserves. In what land is that going to happen? Never ever going to happen.
Never.
So
they're going to have to play.
This is where management comes in. This is where good coaches get paid. That's their job to sort that out. Of course, Paratici, of course, Dan Levy will have some words as well. That's their management's. The management have to sort this out with Harry Kane, whether they sit him down, whether they talk. But at the end of the day, if he doesn't like any of them, I don't care. Not bothered. As long as he plays and bangs in 20 goals.
What do you think about the fact that Nunes hasn't even contacted him, though? Look how long he's been the manager for. I know he's been away in England, but surely...
Again, but Don, just going on that, there's a lot of players that he probably hasn't had contact with or had minimal contact with.
He probably doesn't even know what Don Bella is.
But I don't actually know whether or not these conversations have been taking place, because sometimes within a contract, you might not be able to talk publicly about certain things. So they might not be able to talk publicly about things that they've done in private. Now, he may have had a text from Harry Kane to say, listen, Nuno, listen, boss, there's a situation going on. I ain't going to be there. He might not be able to say that. I don't know. We'll only find out these things in time when they start writing all their books and all their memoirs. At the end of the day, football is a business and it's a professional job. These guys just have to now get on with it, whether they like each other or not. I work with a load of people I don't like. Do I mean to say I'm not going to go to work? Of course not.
100%.
No, but Sam, if you had a choice, if you wanted to go somewhere else, then you would turn around and say, no, I'm going to stay at home. I'm going to wait my week out and then go to my new job on next Monday.
If they're going to pay me double the wages.
No, what I'm saying is do not confuse the two scenarios of not going to work or not going to training. Youngsters, like David said, turn up to training. However, 100%. If you can no longer play for your team or the club that you're at or the business that you're in, don't kill yourself every day.
No, he should never have not gone to training. I agree with that 100%. He should have turned up if that was the case. But he's saying something else now. He's saying he wasn't due to
it's
come.
all mixed.
So we don't know.
Yeah,
Can I just come in here? Can I just come in here? Because
Yeah.
I think
That's PR. Everyone knows it now.
especially about him, because Kane is always perceived as the golden boy, England captain, can do no wrong, never ever seen drinking, never in a nightclub, like GQ smooth, Mr. Professional. And what's so interesting about this is that he's been a professional for how many years? 15 years? He's been a professional for so long, and it could take you, I don't know, 10 years or 12 years to build a reputation.
Yeah.
And only one day it can all go with just one incident. And that incident has probably come this week. And you know what?
You know what? But Don, if it only took you was just this one little act, and you hate Kane, you never loved him really.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm pissed with him, but I'm pissed off with him.
It's about Tottenham supporters. It's not just about Tottenham supporters, because ultimately, Tottenham supporters can dislike him, and Kane can go off and play for Man City and couldn't give a toss about us for whatever reason. You know what I mean? He can go on with his life and just keep going forward. But I'm just talking about this brand, Kane. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Harry brand Kane.
Yeah.
Which
I get it.
100%.
I get it. But listen, Don, if he, Don, just for 1 minute, imagine, right? Yeah. Just for 1 minute, guys, you guys as well. Just for 1 minute, imagine, right? Yeah. That if he was, say, for example, he went off to City, right? Yeah. And this season won the FA Cup, won the Carling Cup, won the Champions League, won the Premier League. Next year, he's not going to give a muppets about this Monday gone. And when you talk about the legacy that he builds, his legacy will go global, right? The fans that in Tottenham Spurs that love him still are still going to carry on loving him. The others are going to move on. Maybe Berardi might come in or someone else. They're going to move on because they all they care about is the club side of it. That's enough. The brand itself will grow if he goes to a bigger club where he's got a trophy in his hand. Once he gets that trophy, just one trophy, that'll be enough to get him to the next level up. Now, you know, over here, Paratici, Nuno, fresh start. I wish this happens. I wish this happens. Brian C., thank you very much for putting that up. Really big you up, mate.
Yeah. Brian C., I want to say thank you for your support, my man. Everyone else, I do have one question to go around with the panel because I do want to get off. I did promise Bob Sawyer I'd actually be off a bit earlier. It's my fault. But guys, you know, why I do ask these guys the final question, if you have enjoyed the show, feel free to get in, you know, your support for the channel via Super Chat or that, or even just get in the comments and let us know that you've really, really enjoyed the show. But look, my last one is do you think that Nuno has been preparing for life without Harry Kane? And we'll start with Shane actually. No, we'll start with Don P and we'll work our way back.
First of all, just like to say thanks again. It's the last question, so thanks very much for having me on your show, Irish Hotspur. And please, everybody out there, please smash the like button right now. Really appreciate that and your support. Thank you very much. And also follow the Paxton Road TV.
You forgot the question now.
So, well, no, look, I get it. He's probably doing the same thing I was before he came on. But you know, Nuno, do you think that Nuno has already, been preparing for life without Harry Kane, my man?
Got it. No, I think he doesn't know, because I think people don't know. I don't think Harry Kane knows whether he's going or not. I don't think Levy knows whether he's going or not. I don't think Pep knows whether he's going or not. Nobody knows, I think. I think it's all going to be down to what happens in the last couple of weeks and down to negotiations. It could go one way or it can go the other way. So I think in his mind, he's been preparing for both scenarios. That's what I think.
Interesting. Mr. K, what's your thoughts, lad?
Sorry, I got distracted there a second ago. Maybe it's the internet struggle.
Nuno has already been preparing for life without Harry Kane.
100%. He's a professional. He's articulate. He's already planned every type of contingency. The guy's working round the clock to make us better. Round the clock, this guy's working. Him, Paratici, the coaches, the staff, everyone out there, they're doing their absolute best to make the best start they possibly can given the circumstances we're in. Before Poch left, he said that season, this is the worst preparation we've ever had. And that's nothing compared to what we got right now. So even though this is really, really down there and we can expect a disastrous season, I firmly believe that we can rise out of the ashes of this. I think we've got a good squad of people that have come into the club and hopefully a few more rotten apples to get out of it. If Kane wants to stay, that's fantastic. If he has to stay, fantastic. As a fan, I love it because I want to see my team succeed. You know, personal emotions aside, you know, you can differentiate, like Sam said, between who's playing from the pitch and whether or not they love the badge. Love the badge, irrelevant, maybe it's a bonus. But they should be on the pitch playing. And hopefully when Man City come along, we're playing with our full strength. Because I expect us to beat them 4-1 if we've got our full strength. The players will want to prove something. Come on, you Spurs.
Mr. K.
Sorry?
Glass is definitely half full. Okay.
Sorry?
Your glass is definitely half full.
It's over brimming, bruv. It's brimming over the top. There's so much excitement, so much positivity. Now, I understand there's a lot of negative feeling out there, right? Yeah. But realistically, initially, after I got over the hurt part, I started to rationalize like Sam and you guys do at Paxton Road. And that's when I began to understand there's so many positives coming out of this. Romero, we've got the best defender in Italy, in Tottenham. Yeah. When we had one of the worst defenses. You know, this is amazing. Back in 16-17, we had a brilliant defense.
One player, we need more.
One more player.
We do need more.
But that one more player may never come. You know what Tottenham's like. One more.
And
you know.
Shane, same to you, my man.
So
has Nuno already prepared for life without him?
So I think there was a bit of not knowing, because the only way that Nuno would know that Harry Kane was not going to go is if the club had come out and said, at no matter what price or what cost, Harry Kane stays. They've not said that. There is a price for Harry Kane. So the only way he's not going to go is if they don't put the money up. At the moment, it's not looking like they're going to put the money up. If they suddenly come in with 150 million, even if it's on the 31st of August, I think Harry Kane goes. And now that's going to obviously make him very much on a limb in terms of his preparations, but he has to have had this in the back of his mind. So what I think he's doing by playing Son down the middle, playing Lucas on the right and playing Bergwijn on the left, he's already seeing, how can I effectively play without Harry Kane? Because you have to. But unless Daniel Levy's come out and said categorically, at any cost, Harry Kane's not going, there's always going to be up in the air. So, yeah, I think he's done some planning, but his hope is that Harry Kane stays. He's going to be a better team with him in than without him.
What do you think, Irish Hotspur?
Me, do you know, I was hoping to avoid this today. Do you know, I really was. You're after landing in hot water there, lad. Look, with the Harry Kane situation, I'm very conflicted, to be honest with you, man, because for me, look, I would rather keep him. I don't see, we already have enough holes to fill this transfer window without adding to try another headache to the situation. I would much rather keep him at least until next season, and then after that, you know, hopefully you'll be in a much better position to let him go. With the whole Kane situation, look, for me, I don't condone missing training. I think it's wrong. But with the likes of Sky Sports and that, I don't tend to jump on everything straight away because, look, they have got things wrong before. I thought, you know, according to them, Fonseca was our new manager. You know, that never happened. So they have got things wrong before. But with Harry Kane, look, I don't think the grief that he's got is to the level it's gone to. I don't think it's justified, to be honest with you. Like, you know, like it's a bit like what you were saying, Don, is like, you know, it takes 10 years to build a reputation and 1 year to take it down, one night to take it down, to take it down. But like, you look back on it, right? A lot of people question his professionalism and character. Me personally, I think they're just angry because they feel let down because they loved him so much. But like with me, he has 200 plus goals. He's chasing down Jimmy Greaves' record. You know, he's played when he's been injured. For me, I don't think you really should be calling his professionalism and character into account because we all know how professional he has been. Like, you know, everyone up until this have always reported that he was always the last one to leave the training, always the last one to do extra work and everything else. You know, and he was a real leader last year amongst a bunch of boys, to be honest with you. And I get it. I'm hurt. I'm disappointed, but I'm also disappointed in the club, to be honest with you, because I thought they could have handled it better. I thought They should have put out a statement by now, to be honest with you. I do think that's my belief. I do think they should have put out a statement by now. I think they're kind of letting Harry Kane take a lot of the slack right now rather than trying to put the fires out. But look, at the end of the day, you weren't smart enough to put it in your contract. That's on you as far as I'm concerned. You know, you may just you may just like it or lump it, you know, and just get on with the situation, come back, have a better season than ever, get the fans on side again, and look, hopefully we can go to better things.
But like David, like you were saying though, he signed it. It's not like he's been paying pittance. He's getting 200 grand guaranteed for another 3 years, 200 grand a week.
Yeah.
So whether or not it's he's hard done by, we can't look at it as being hard done by. What it is he should have had a clause in there if he knew that he wanted to go at some point. That's all I would say. But to say that he's we're holding him hostage, 200 grand a week, I'll be held hostage for that. I'll stay for 3 years and do whatever he wants if you're gonna hold me hostage. Not a problem at all. It's just maybe if he wants to go on and better his career because he doesn't feel Tottenham has got the ability to win the top honours. Because I definitely believe we could win a League Cup, we could win an FA Cup, we could even win this UECL that we're in. So to win a trophy, we can definitely do that. To win a Champions League or to win the league, that's a different story.
Yeah, look, that's a different story. But you know me, Shane, I'll always believe until it's not mathematically possible, my man. But look, guys, it's been an absolute epic of a show. I do want to go around and give everyone a quick chance to plug themselves, let them know like where people can find you and what you have coming up on that. So, look, we'll start with Don P and work our way back.
Yeah, just find me on Paxton Road TV.
Yeah,
that's short and sweet like that. Don like that one.
Short and sweet. Look, you know, if only we all done
making
that.
Making time for me.
You know? But, Don, I want to say, look, it's my first time ever meeting you, first time having you on. You're more than welcome back on, my friend. You're absolutely brilliant, and I really appreciate you taking the time to come on.
I'll come, definitely.
Appreciate it, my man. Mr. K, Mr. Smiles, where can everyone find you, my man, and what have you got coming up?
Basically, you're gonna find me an awful lot in the comments over here, or in Matt Hayes' channel comments. You're gonna find me also on Paxton Road TV. I do their Tuesday nights quite an awful lot, or any other show that they push me into. I do awful some cross-platform stuff, which I do for Paxton Road TV, where I go to the Armory, the United stand and stuff like that. But mainly, the most important thing for me is the show which I do on Tuesday nights, which used to be The Three Wise Men. That series is finished. I'm starting a new series this Tuesday called Let's Talk to Kay. In fact, we might pick up some of those points that we've discussed here on next Tuesday's show. So yeah, and also I'm wherever the happiness is in terms of Spurs. If Spurs are happy somewhere, I'm there. You find me in the heart if you're laughing.
There hasn't been much happiness around for the last while, Mr. K, so we're glad to have you, my man. And again, you know, I really appreciate you coming on, even though me and you have actually spoke a while. It's actually your first time on the show, man, so thank you very much. You know, look, we got past all the technical difficulties. It's like, you know, arguing with your missus, you know, you get past them all, and then you come back together and have a great show, a great time, and I really appreciate you coming on, my man.
Thank you for having me.
Nah, been an absolute pleasure. And the general, you know, the Heiberg of the situation. You know, why don't you let everyone know where they can find you and what's coming up? Because I'll be honest with you, man, your reaction has been insane. And, you know, we reached over 500 in the live chat for the first time ever. And
wow.
That's, you know, no doubt a small part, a massive part to play by yourselves. But the comments have been off the chain. People have absolutely loved you, love what you have to say. So let them all know what to look forward to on your channel.
Okay, first things first, everybody, like I said, this channel, one of the best out there. David, Irish Hotspur, fabulous, brilliant. Get him as far as we can go. As many subscribers as we can do. All the comments, all the likes. So smash that like button right now. In terms of Paxton Road, Sam Spurs for Life, you can find me on Twitter. You can also find me on Instagram at the handle @Sam_Spurs for Life. Paxton Road TV, yeah, we're doing preview shows, review shows. We've got player rating shows coming up, Judge Jody. We've also got Sid Says and Transfers. And as Mr. K's already mentioned, we do talking points on a Tuesday where we take a topic that's, you know, trending during the week and we have a little bit of chat similar to what we're doing today. But yeah, just go across to Paxton Road. You'll see Don P, see Mr. K. You'll see Mike Hotspur Hustler, Darius 3K. We've got Jody. We've got Sid Spurs. We've got Stuart Gallett. We've got a number of people. So tune in.
Look, everyone, please do get over there and check it out. I've seen your reaction today in the chat, so please do get over there and check it out. The boys are absolutely brilliant. I've had them on here before, Shane and Darius and stuff like that, being an absolute riot. And I'll be honest, anytime I go on their channel, we have an absolute ball as well. It's a great channel to be on. So, guys, please do get over and check out Paxton Road. Like I said, the link is in the description below this video. You don't even have to type it in. The job's done for you. Just get your sausage fingers, press it on the link, get over there and smash that subscribe button. Look, the Harris Army, first of all, the people that sent in the super chats and helped support the channel, a massive thank you to you. A massive thank you to you, the Harris Army, and everyone else for tuning in, for putting your comments in and engaging the way you do. Without you guys watching and putting your comments in and everything else all the time, these shows wouldn't happen. Trust me, you're a massive part of this channel, the Harris Army. So thank you very much. A massive thank you to the three boys for giving up their time this evening. Absolute great. Great guest today, I have to say. Really, really interesting topics. It was absolutely flying today. I really loved the show. I want to say as well, look, what we have coming up is, I'm not actually sure, to be honest with you. My mind's
no, Jack. Jack's not here.
I'm not sure about tomorrow. We might put something out tomorrow, but I'll let you know earlier if we are up in the community section of the channel. I'll put out a notice. But look, we'll be back next week with a lot of content. Season starts then the following week. Stuff like there'll be a hell of a lot of content to get through next week. I have a new show coming out called Stats with Jack. Guys, everyone, please make sure you get out and check it out. I'm not sure. Jack is away on holiday. Not sure if it will be coming out before the City game or whether it'll be before the Wolves game. But guys, trust me, you do not want to miss this. This is something that it's going to blow your mind. That's all I can say. It's going to absolutely blow your mind when you see it. But look, guys, make sure you do the usual. Smash a like on the stream. Subscribe if you've really enjoyed it and you're new. And as well, I just want to say, Bob Spur TV is actually doing a stream right now. He's live. My fault. I do apologize to him. I was supposed to get off a bit earlier. So guys, make sure you do go over there. Make sure you get in the comments and call it the Irish Hotspur Raid. Let them know that Harris Raid. Get your full support behind them. Get your full support behind them. And with Marcelo, Marcelo was asking to come on this evening. I couldn't get him on because, like I said, I had the Paxton Road on. But look, wait for Frenemies. Frenemies is very, very, very interesting show.
That's a good show.
Marcelo out just to get him to come.
That's a good show.
Get him to come with the passion and the fire. That's why I called him out. So it's going to be absolutely fun show. And I have no doubt he's going to absolutely debate me under the table, to be honest with you. But look, guys, it's been amazing. You're welcome to the Irish Hotspur. Thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure you get over, check out Paxton Road TV. And as always, come on, you Spurs. And in Nuno.
Come on, you Spurs.
Let's fucking go. The scum on Sunday. Let's absolutely rattle the cages.
Everywhere we go.